So I think that experience is my main success from working for Kid in a Corner. Actually, I wanted to talk about, Facebook. Reaching 10 to 20,000 followers is the most difficult part. Well, the number one mistake is something that you already mentioned, is buying fake followers.
Greetings, comrades. Welcome on his vlog and podcast. My name is 𝐕𝐈𝐃𝐄𝐎. I'm multi-platinum artist, songwriter, and music producer, and I'm starting a series of vlogs and podcasts about music business. It's called Music Business in Details. So this info will be very helpful for every new and upcoming rapper or singer. Today's topic is about social media marketing, so let's jump right in. In the beginning of every podcast, I will say I'm truly sorry for my English, because English is my not first language, and so sometimes I can say like weird things and I can do like some grammar mistakes, but honestly I will try to do my best. And so let's get started, because today my guest is an amazing person. She grew up in Russia, correct? Yeah, she grew up in Russia, but she went to States to find herself in the world. She tried different jobs, but she found herself at the digital marketing right now. So she made a great job at Grammy-nominated platinum producer 𝐲𝐈𝐅𝐃𝐄𝐎 and his label, and now she works in a recording academy. So let's meet my dearest friend from LA, who can make truly magic for your Instagram account, and whom I met being the first time in the City of Angels, Yana Trofimova. Hello.
Hi, thank you. That was a great intro.
Yeah, I tried to do my best. So like people today will hear like a lot of Russian accent in English language.
Trust me, people in LA are used to hearing a lot of accents. It's such a mix of cultures, so that's totally fine. But yeah, I moved to LA 10 years ago to study music business. Time flies really fast. It feels like 3 years, not 10 years. Anyways, I already had a master's degree in marketing, but I wanted to get in the music industry. So I thought, taking a music business program would be a good decision. And most of the professors teaching the classes were, actively involved with artists, labels, and management companies. So it was great to just learn some practical things and to network. And I really loved the program. It was fun. School was super helpful, but finding a job in the music industry was not easy at all. I had to really think about ways to get in and really be smart about it. I was passionate about social media since the beginning of Instagram. So about, 2012, 2013, that's when I started getting into it. I was also passionate about photography, and in particular concert photography. So I decided to take some graphic design classes on top of all of the other classes that I've been taking. And it really
Nice.
helped me to get a job. And it was Kid in a Corner, a smaller record label owned by Alex the Kid. And I was there for 4 years, and I really had to do a lot of multitasking, work on social media for the label, for Alex, for artists that are signed to the label. I was also brainstorming a lot of creative ideas, going to shows and festivals to take photos and cover the events in real time on socials. I also got to produce photo shoots and music videos. And then I quickly picked up video editing just because the job required it. So it probably took me a month to, learn how to edit videos, and I was doing that. And after Kid in a Corner, and it was really a great adventure. I got a job at the Recording Academy, and that's my current job.
Yeah, that's actually great, because you already answered the first question that I had. Like I was trying to get to the people more information about you, and you did it like you did it greatly. So like when you worked at Alex the Kid and his label, which artists you worked with, and what was your main success in it?
When I worked for Alex and for Kid in a Corner, I had a lot of creative freedom, and that was a really good thing about the job. I could propose any idea, and if it didn't require a lot of resources, then, my team could just jump on it right away. And I got to work with a lot of up and coming artists. Of course, we had some big names signed to Kid in a Corner, including Imagine Dragons and X Ambassadors. But I really enjoyed working with up and coming artists. My one of my absolutely favorites is Alan Raymond. Alan Raymond is, he's got a raw talent, and he has a very unique approach when it comes to visual elements and his live shows. Um, yeah, so I think my main success, to be honest, it was just in learning so many things by being placed in difficult situations where I just had to figure things out on my own. Like nobody could tell me like, hey, like in order to achieve this, you have to do this and that. Like I really had to dig in, do a lot of research, try a lot of things and figure it out. And a lot of times it pushed me, beyond my limits and beyond my creative limits. Um, so I think that experience is my main success from working for Kid in a Corner.
Yeah, but like, can you tell, like, for the people, like, for up and coming digital managers, and like, how did you like get that job, like, before like you made something, like, you were making, I don't remember, what were you making before, Alex?
I was in school. I was doing a lot of freelance.
Yeah, but like,
And
yeah, how did he found you and just get you to the music business and to do the job into the label? Many artists, many famous artists, like, so on and so forth.
yeah, so basically, I was in school and we had a department that was helping students get an internship or a job. And I heard about this new company that was looking for to hire people, and there was no information about the company. I knew about Alex, but I had no idea he was connected to that company. So I'm like, oh, this looks interesting. It's a startup. They had three people working there when I started, and they just told me, yeah, they told me, hey, like, we need help with everything, like research and graphic design and photography and just brainstorming ideas. So I think on my third day, the elevator door opens and Alex comes in, and I was like, oh, like what? Really? So that was kind of crazy. And then I found out that, yeah, the company was actually, a part of Kid in a Corner, but he wanted to try to open a creative agency within the label, but then we just stick to the label. And instead of that company, it became Kid in a Corner, which I was aware of. And in the beginning, nobody was really handling social media. So it was not like there was no consistency in posting, there was no vision for that. And I just offered, I was like, hey, I like social media and I feel like I can do it if you give me a chance. So they said, okay, now you can be in charge of social media. And then the company started growing, and then we hired a head of digital and she came from a big label. She came from Interscope. So she became my boss and I started learning from her. Um, and so forth and so on. And then we got a creative director. I started working with him, brainstorming some concepts for artists. And we started with 4 artists, and slowly we grew the label to about 20 artists. So I got to work with pretty much every person. Whenever someone was signed, that person was sent to me, that artist or a producer, and we would talk about their socials and what we can do and how we can improve and how we can grow pages. So yeah.
Yeah, so like the basic thing is what I recently told people, like, in my Instagram, just to make networking as much as you can, because if you have like so many connections, that connections can lead to maybe to great work, maybe to great, like, collaboration with the producers of artists. Like, yeah, that's a great example of a good collaboration. When we were in the school speaking with some creative persons, you saw an opportunity of going to that kind of job, and you were just diving in into the, like, into the sea of the music business, and just getting super much of knowledge from every like professional that you were surrounded by.
Yeah, I feel like you have to be very open because some people have very unrealistic expectations and they think, oh, I'm going to graduate from school and then I'm going to get a job at a very, famous label. But it doesn't really work like this because the competition is crazy. And you have
Yeah,
to think
of
like,
course.
oh, I want to be like, if you want to be a music manager, what can you do in the beginning? You have no network, you have no experience. You need to think about your way to get in. How can you be actually helpful for the company in the beginning? So you can at least learn some, real life knowledge and information about how the business works.
Yeah, correct. So like being now in 2020, how do you stay on top of social media trends and innovations? Where do you like make research for new things that are popular or will be popular in the net?
Yeah, I think, when you work for a label or for any respected music company, you have relationships with social media platforms and their representatives. So of course they update us on any new products. They send us guides, and tips on how to use them and all of that. But most of the time you just stay on top of things by doing and trying new things. And like for me, I spent probably something like 10 hours a day on social media just due to
Wow.
my application. Yeah, and of course it's like across different social media platforms, but me and my team were constantly trying new products, and like one of us can say, oh, did you see that new Twitter feature? Let's try it. And we go ahead and we test it right away and we say, oh, does it work for us? Or maybe it doesn't work for us. How can we improve it? So I think, yeah, you just really, and because I'm used to spending so much time on social media, I'm digesting all of that information. It's an insane amount of information. Yeah, and you see what other people are doing, and you can think about how you can apply that to yourself and to your page.
Yeah, for I want to ask you that, like, if some new artists or just people who just want to be artists right now, they're thinking to record their first song, and can you tell them why is social media presence is so important right now? Because I know, like, many people, like, they got so lazy to post in Instagram their stuff. They're so lazy to make them Facebook pages, TikTok pages. Like I'm lazy actually to make a TikTok page. Yeah, I just go to the Instagram and YouTube. But what do you think? And what's the best advice? Why social media presence, like for new artists, is such an important thing?
I think in general, social media is so powerful because it allows you to connect with people all over the world and, share your gifts, whatever it is, music, art, or whatever you create. And you can even do it without leaving your house. Social media is influencing people and culture. It can play an important role when it comes to politics. People on social media can start huge movements. People develop brands from scratch, and especially now that we've been staying at home for a few months, you can connect with people, you can connect with communities, and it really just helps you to stay sane because I mean, I'm assuming a lot of people would just lose their minds if they didn't have the
Oh
technology.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, I think we live like in a golden era of music business because straight at home you can upload your track to the streaming platforms. Straight at home you can connect to your fans, and like you can even get an online concert, online show, just sitting at your home.
Yeah, I've been working with a lot of those because, during COVID, a lot of artists wanted to perform still. The tours got canceled.
yeah.
And um, actually, I wanted to talk about, Facebook, because a lot of people think that, oh, Facebook is for older people. But Facebook really changed, especially during COVID, with the tools available for people that want to go live or even premiere their videos or have a watch party. So I've been on Facebook much more in the past 3 months than I was before because I'm usually on Instagram. But yeah, and then people were able to, add a donate button, so they would actually support a nonprofit organization, and that money would go directly to a nonprofit, and it was so easy for people to donate and support a good cause.
Yeah. So, like, what do you think the most important social networks for new upcoming artists? Like, if he or she doesn't have much time to spread their content everywhere, but like one or two the most important networks.
Well, I think for artists, I would say Instagram and TikTok, um, maybe Twitter, but it can be useful if you really have something to say and you have time and energy and right motivation to start a discussion or join a discussion, and you really have to have a strong opinion about something. So then you can build your presence on Twitter. It's not might not be directly related to music, but it can help you push your music. But otherwise, I would say Instagram and TikTok. And then it depends on your audience because Instagram audience is broad, while TikTok audience is younger. So depending on what kind of music you're making, and then if you're a producer, I would also recommend YouTube because you can upload longer form videos in YouTube, and it's a great platform. And they actually have a few new tools that we've been using, like, and people don't even know about it. For example, YouTube community feed. And then you see those messages when you scroll through your YouTube, and you can check out some new videos or just some photos.
Yeah. So actually, I want to get to the straight questions because like so many podcasts, so many vlogs are talking about like yeah how we can make it like popular in social media, but like can you get some advices for people on how to get from a 0 to 10K followers to 100K followers, or maybe to a million followers? Are there like strategies or tips that you can give?
Yeah, so I think first of all, it's becoming more and more difficult to grow your following on Instagram. So people on Instagram have a very short attention span. Let's say if they come across your content and it's not great, they will just keep scrolling because they're swimming in the sea of content, right? Um, so first of all, you really have to have a great product, and whatever it is, it can be, in our case, we're talking about music, right? So your music must be really, really good. And then, it's not enough. Just having a good product is not enough. Instagram is very visual, so your content has to stand out. There's no short answer to this question. On top of having a great product and great content, you need to see, you need to be able to connect with people and, establish a connection with people that you've never met. They don't know you personally. It's a lot of work, and it has to be genuine. Even with all of that, with the new Instagram algorithm, you will most likely have to invest in some IG promo because, the way the algorithm works, it only shows your content to about 5 to 10% of your followers when you post. And if you need to push it further, you have to invest some money, and run a promo.
Because most of people doesn't know that because they think that all their followers will see that post, but that actually doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it does not, unfortunately. So reaching 10 to 20,000 followers is the most difficult part. And I can, probably have a separate discussion on that, and it will probably take a few hours. But it,
We have our time.
it's very individual. But I would say, just talking about the structure of your following, there's a first layer of followers. It's your family, your friends, people that you've worked with, people that you've met in real life. So that's super easy. They're gonna keep following you, they're gonna support you just because they know you personally. You have that real connection with them. And then the second layer is usually it's a few thousand followers, and it's people that Most likely it's going to be other artists, aspiring artists, producers, or just music fans that love to discover new music. It's a specific category of people because someone who likes mainstream might not really follow you because they're like, oh, who are you? There are like so many of artists like you. So I would target those people, other artists, other producers, because they can recognize your talent, um, as opposed to someone who just listens to mainstream music and like, oh yeah, that's like I like the vibe, but like that's a cool summer song. So after you get a few thousands of those, and those people, if they follow you, if you are able to establish a real connection with them, they will become your core fan base. They will be like in 10 years from now, they will be telling people like, hey, like I discovered this artist when she or he or nobody, and I've been supporting them. So you need to make them feel like they're involved in your process. You really need to like ask their opinion and don't act like a superstar. Like be humble, be down to earth, talk to people, reply to DMs, reply to comments, like have separate conversations with them. You never know. Those people will really push your content. They will share your content if the connection is genuine. And after that, let's say, at this point you have a few thousands of followers, then you can start targeting more of a general audience because okay, people now see that, oh, you have a little bit of followers and you have good music and you have good content. So now, okay, I'll give you an example. I'm working with an artist, and she's a singer. She has an amazing voice, but she also loves fashion. So she's always dressed really cool. So at this point, I don't care. I can target people that like fashion. And some people will follow her for her music, and some for some fashion and cool photos. That's fine. At this point, I need a number, and when I have a bigger number of followers, it's much easier. It's a mental thing, much easier for other people to follow. And once you hit 20, about 20,000, it's much faster. So then you can get to 100. There's no difference for me, 20,000 and 100,000. It can take a few months to get from 20 to 100,000. And to a million, of course, that's from 100 to a million, you can assume that that person most likely has to be on tour and have a lot of press and have a buzz going about that artist because having a million of followers, realistically, it has to be a superstar.
Absolutely, because I saw so many profiles with the millions, but when I see the engagement, it will be like 1,000 likes. So it doesn't make much sense because I think there are mostly bots there.
Yeah.
Because people like to have a big number, but when I always say what I always say to artists like bots doesn't listen to your music and they don't go to your shows because that's absolutely like waste of your money to buy bots because you want to have a big number of followers.
Yeah, and realistically, we all know, after working with a bunch of artists for a few years, I know how many followers artists usually have at a specific stage of their career. So let's say it's a newish artist who's been around for 5 years, has a couple of artists, has been touring, having small tours here and there, and he's got 50,000 followers. That's realistic. Otherwise, if someone that maybe has one song or two songs, one music video, never been on tour, no press, has a million followers, then I'm suspicious.
Yeah, um, either it's not a Lil Nas X.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just like it happens like one in a million times because yeah, because if you want to have like this kind of success for for your like one of your first songs, you should have like so many puzzles in the LinkedIn. Like this doesn't happen any much time. Yeah, this is just one in a million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happens sometimes, but again, those artists they break on other platforms like TikTok or Snapchat. But
Yeah.
it's always an exception. So you can't really rely on that and hope that it will
Yeah.
happen to you.
Can you be like popular via Snapchat? Because like, like in Russia, we don't have Snapchat, and I'm absolutely zero knowledge about Snap. The only thing I know about Snapchat is that they have cool filters and masks that Instagram Instagram also applied to their application. That's the only thing I know. But can you like really be popular via Snapchat?
You
Like, can you
could
be an artist?
for Khalid, for example, Khalid,
Yeah.
he became
Yeah.
popular because Kylie Jenner posted a Snapchat video with his
Oh,
music in the background, and that's how people found out about him. But again, let's talk about the product. Khalid has an amazing product. His voice is great.
yeah.
Music is
His voice is
awesome.
absolutely amazing.
He
Yeah.
needed a lot of eyeballs on his song, a lot of ears, on his song, and
Yeah.
it happened. But Snapchat is changing. They're actually switching to a lot of longer form video content. So I think it's possible, but you really need to learn about the platform and the tools available. There are still a lot of users, active users in Snapchat. And I think some artists can really, think about maybe possibly using it because not a lot of artists are using it.
Yeah. So okay, let's think that a new upcoming artist, just recorded their first or maybe like second song, and they're thinking how much budget do they should spend on social media just to get some buzzing, like around them. What do you think? Like how much money do they need to spend? Like it will be 100 or 1,000? Because I talk to different people, and some people say, hey man, I'm broke, like I will upload it to just streaming platforms. But I think that's totally waste of your time and talent, because if you're just uploading to streaming, it won't be like fluted around like other tracks, and you're never going to be heard like with the people, because as Spotify said, there are 40,000 tracks released a day. And like, and I think average person has like 30 minutes to an hour to listen to the music once a day. Maybe just driving to the work or driving back. That's it. And you should like get into that 30 minutes or 1 hour, because they will listen to the top artists, and here comes you, new one, and you have no budget. Like, it doesn't make any sense for me. But what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. It's extremely hard, and there's no point in just releasing music, putting it on DSPs without doing anything else. And I feel like at this, if you are brand new, you really have to rely on your community and ask people to, not even ask, but if you have a good community around you and supportive friends and family, and you don't even have to ask, they will help you push your music out. But of course, having a budget helps a lot. I'm actually working with a new artist right now. He just released a really good song, and we're pushing it, doing Instagram promo. We invested so far $300 on IG promo in 1 week. We got a ton of followers. We got a lot of great feedback. We're sending people to YouTube to watch the music video for the song instead of Spotify link. It's a personal preference. They wanted to push the music video, but I feel like if you have $500 a month on IG promo, you can really get some good results. But again, now here's the question. You need to know who to target, because you can have the same amount of money, you can spend the same amount of money on the same piece of content for the same song and get completely different results. So first of all, think about your audience. Who are you going to target? So in marketing, we call those people avatars. So an avatar is your average consumer, right? Someone
Yeah.
possibly consume your music. So who is that avatar? Where does he or she live? how old is he or she, what else does she or he like. So, and that's the main question, because you will probably target, fans of other artists. So you need to do a lot of research before you spend the money, because again, you will feel like, oh, I'm doing everything right. I just created this awesome track, I released the song, I'm spending money on the promo, and you're like, where are the results? But you really need to do a lot of research and learn about Facebook tools. Instagram is Facebook, so all the promo goes through Facebook ads. Spend some time on just learning about that. You can spend 2, 3, 4 hours, and you can become a professional in Facebook ads, and then your investment will be much more effective. But I would say it would be anything from a few $100s a month until infinity.
Or you can hire Yana if you don't want to spend your
That too.
time.
That too.
Yeah. So, like, what do you think working with many artists, many like famous and just starting artists, what do you think like top 5 mistakes that they make in their like social media presence or the Instagram accounts?
Well, the number one mistake is something that you already mentioned, is buying fake followers and fake engagement.
Don't do that. Like, never do that.
So it can really hurt you. Instagram algorithm, again, let's go over the way it works. Let's say you post a piece of content and Instagram shows it to about 10% of your followers. Depending on how they react in the first few minutes, Instagram decides on pushing it further and showing it to more followers or not. Now, let's say if you're constantly buying fake followers, it will show you post something, Instagram will show your content to the people that followed you recently. If it's bots, they're not going to react. Of course, not a real person. They're not going to like, they're not going to comment, they're not going to watch the video. So then Instagram will see that, oh, there's no reaction to this content, so now you're flat, like nobody's interested in that person's content, right? And then next time you post, Instagram is going to show to even less number of your followers. Let's say it's 5%. And again, if you don't get any reaction, even less next time. And that's what happened, with all of the bots. And then you get super low engagement, and it just looks ridiculous. Let's say you bought 20,000 followers, you post a picture and it has 20 likes and no comments. Like, for me, it would probably take a few minutes to see that someone's following is fake. So then they're getting in this trap. They start buying likes to match the followers, but then there are no comments.
It's just like spending like so much money for nothing.
It's just a waste. And then people start buying likes, but you see there's a ton of likes and followers, no comments. Comments are the most difficult to buy. And then you start seeing those, like, people create fake pages and they comment 5 times from a fake page, some fire emoji. So I can tell, and any person working for a label or management company can immediately tell.
Yeah, they will absolutely know it.
Someone's engagement is fake. So it can really hurt you and your reputation, as well as just not being effective at all. So keep your following real. Work on establishing real connection with people online, and you will really benefit from it. I would rather have 100 committed followers, real people, than 20,000 fakes. Yeah.
This doesn't make any sense, like, to buy fake followers.
Absolutely not. Yeah. And then the second mistake, and we talked about it a little bit, is hashtags. People spam with hashtags. They copy paste the same set of hashtags and use it for every photo. Don't do that.
Guilty.
Instagram can actually flag you for this, even though they say you're allowed to use for up to 30 hashtags in a photo. Don't do it. Use 5 to 10 hashtags and make sure they are relevant to whatever you're posting, because again, Instagram algorithm can recognize what's in the picture or in the video or what you're talking about in the video, and if the hashtag is relevant. if you keep your hashtags relevant, then Instagram pushes it to the explore page for that hashtag, and then more people engage with your post, and it can push Instagram can push it even further to the next a bigger hashtag. So that's a good strategy. I would say, like, some people are staying away from hashtags completely. They think it's not cool. I think it's fine. Like, people are using it, people are getting discovered because of hashtags.
Yeah.
I actually discovered a lot of great artists.
Yeah, it's a free promo. Yeah, why not to use it?
Yeah, just don't overuse it and don't spam. And then,
Yeah.
third mistake that I see a lot of artists make is overposting. They think that they have to be consistent, so they post every day, and they just post for the sake of posting, and without having a good quality content so they end up posting content that has no value for people because they think if they're consistent that something will pick up. But again, the algorithm doesn't work like that, because now if you go to your home feed, you see photos from 3-4 days ago. So Instagram keeps showing old photos to people. So that's okay if you post once a week, if you post once in 4 days, because your post will accumulate more engagement. Next time you post, Instagram is gonna be like, oh, the last photo got a lot of engagement, so we will show it to a lot of people, this time. So I would say stick to posting only good quality content, and once a week is fine, twice a week is fine. Just don't feel like you're obligated to be consistent. It's not that consistency that we need. And also keep in mind, if you're working on growing your followers, they are very fragile. They're giving you a chance when they follow you, and they're gonna see what you're gonna post in the next few days. If they don't like it, they're gonna unfollow. So try to overwhelm them and really just post good stuff. And then the next mistake, and it's a big one, captions. A lot of people are not using captions at all, or they just add a couple of hashtags, or they use one emoji.
Yeah.
And
I
that,
saw like that.
I see a lot of that. And keep in mind that actually captions and Instagram stories, that's how you tell your story. And that's how you connect with people. Because otherwise, of course, if you're posting a video and you're talking about yourself, about something, about your project in the video, that makes sense. It speaks for itself. Then you can maybe use a one-word caption or an emoji. But if it's a photo, then really make people comfortable to talk to you and to reply to a caption. So don't try to be cool. You really don't have to do that anymore. A few years ago, that was a thing. So people wouldn't post any captions. Like, it was cool not to reply to any comments. Now I would say always think how you can connect with people. Write something meaningful. Write something from your heart, because people can feel it. Even if they don't know you, they can feel it. They can give them something to relate to. Give them a lot of reasons to relate to you. And same with Instagram stories. You can use it for the same purpose. So yeah, pay attention to your captions. So then it brings me to my next and final mistake. You can make a lot of mistakes on social media.
Oh yeah.
But low quality content. People post just all kinds of things on their feed, stuff. Think about what should only go to your stories and what should go to your feed. Feed should be more curated. Again, think about a person that's seeing your page for the first time. Somehow they clicked on a hashtag, let's say hashtag singer-songwriter, and they found you. So now they're looking at your page. You have a few seconds of their time, and make sure it's appealing, and they will see the top 6 to 9 posts. They will click on a couple of them, make sure they're high quality. If it's a video, make sure there's good lighting. I don't recommend posting photos with a bunch of type on it or stuff from IG stories. If you're uploading a video, pick a very nice thumbnail. People don't pick a thumbnail. It's so easy to do on Instagram. And so then they get some random shot from the video as their thumbnail, but that's what people see. So yeah,
And it's not always appealing.
yeah, and avoid using
It'll be
generic.
like,
Exactly, or just some blurry shot.
yeah.
So keep in mind that your feed content should be more curated and high quality, and then you can post everything else to
Okay.
your stories.
Okay. That was a really big answer. So, can you tell us what's your favorite social media for now and why?
My personal favorite is Instagram. I'm a visual person, I love seeing nice visuals. I'm not very political, so I don't spend much time on Twitter unless I have to. Facebook is slightly different. I do spend a lot of time on Facebook, especially now that we have all of the live shows on Facebook. So I had to do that. But for the most part, it's Instagram because it allows you to, for some people, you can just have a photo album basically on Instagram. Or some people can, share their stories and present really cool visuals. You can find a lot of good information if you like. Even if you're traveling, you can go to a location and, learn about that location. You can find great photographers, visual artists and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. So I had in my Instagram I had like a small contest about getting free tips or for IG strategies, and we should pick like a three artists or producers or whoever you picked, and get them something good that they can apply to their profiles. Sorry, I like my English like is getting like totally down because my brain thinks in Russian. So like I'm getting my English like is like waving like somewhere here nearby.
Trust me, it's totally normal.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I went through, I actually looked at all the pages that submitted their requests. So I think I'll talk a little bit about everyone.
Cool.
I'll start with Marcelo Riera. For Marcelo, I see that Marcelo is very intuitive. He can see that, a photo is good. He's posting a lot of photos of himself. He's a producer, mix and mastering engineer. So looking at his Instagram, right away, I can see that he's a music professional. There are a lot of photos from the studio. He's posting photos with, artists that he's working with his friends. But my question for Marcelo, do you want to develop your Instagram? Do you want to really build your brand on Instagram? Or do you just want to have it for, people in your life, your family, your friends, people you work with, people you come across? Because some of the photos is really, it's just like a photo album, like nice pictures. But from a professional point of view, I would archive some of them if you really want to just grow your Instagram as a producer or mix and engineer. I would stick to photos in the studio, photos with other artists, other producers. And what's lacking here is try to have some video content. In ideal world, I would recommend 50% videos, 50% photos. People just react so much better to video content these days. So for Marcelo, I would definitely post some videos, some studio vibes, and it would improve. And then captions. Marcelo is writing a lot of captions in Spanish. Uh, Again, where is your audience? If your audience is mainly Spanish speaking, it's totally fine. That's what you should do. But if you are, and it looks like Marcelo is in the States, and you're trying to grow your Instagram in the States, then it would be helpful for people to understand what you're talking about. So
Yeah, just make it two versions of captions. Like you can say like Spanish down or like English down.
do that. But overall, I really like his page. He's got great content. I would add videos and work on captions. So that's Marcelo. Then the next
Yeah.
one, It's 𝐕𝐈𝐃𝐄𝐎, a musician. I feel like there's a lot going on in your bio, and I would suggest making it shorter, making it neat. The bio starts with Spotify link in all caps, but there is a Spotify link, so you don't really have to say Spotify link down there because you have a Spotify link in there.
Yeah, people can understand that.
I would also shorten the Spotify link. There are a lot of ways to, create a shorter link like bit.ly, so it looks more neat, more professional than just a bunch of like a combination of 50 letters and numbers. And so for Marcelo, my main note would be think about what we just talked, stories versus feed. What goes to stories and what goes to feed? I see a lot of posts with the type on it. If you're using the type, then really find a good type that you will be using every time, maybe even 2 different fonts, and you can stick to them. Otherwise, it just looks like the content is all over the place. Marcellus, I call it Sal, so Marcellus time. He's posting a lot of videos. So again, pick nice thumbnails for the videos. Please don't post the stuff with the emoji on it. That's, yeah,
I can't hear it. I can see it.
yeah, it should go on stories, and
I saw like some 4 fire emojis, or what was there because it was blurry.
there are a lot of there are some posts, video posts that looks like he took them from his stories and reposted to the feed, but it doesn't look clean on the feed. Keep your feed clean. Like in general, I suggest posting full bleed photos, full bleed videos. If you want to include type, pick one nice type and edit everything. It's about your look and feel. I know some people don't care about it because they want to be in the moment. They want to be able to post spontaneously. Then just stick to clean video, full bleed video. No the filters.
Do you understand?
That's La Colossal. And then we have unsigned rappers. I like this page because it looks like it's a community page, so people are helping each other, pushing their music out. Here, my main note would be, again, about picking nice thumbnails because these are automatic thumbnails generated by Instagram. Pick a nice one. Also, for pages that is not person, for brands, for labels, it's much more difficult to grow their Instagram because there is no person behind it. So people connect with people. They don't connect with product or brand, right? It's much easier to connect with a person. So you need to add some personality. And then in this case, you can use captions. And here I see that there are pretty much no captions. They're tagging the artist and they are using some emojis, but why don't you write, a couple of paragraphs about this artist and your opinion about his or her music? Because that's like, I know that it's turned into a music blog in a way, but it's also a good way to connect with people. Because right now it looks a little bit impersonal, but I really love the idea of the community. Maybe you can introduce the members, who's curating this, show us your faces, tell us about yourself. It would help. I personally would be interested in seeing this kind of content. And then we have GSO.
Yeah.
I think looking at this page, I would suggest, creating content that is different from everybody else. I go through hundreds of pages that look exactly like this every single day. Everybody's using these, animations and this black screen for, for their videos. It's just, it doesn't stand out, and people are just tired of seeing the same thing. The chances they will even click on this video are so low because people are seeing thousands of these. So even if you have amazing music, it can actually hurt you because it's too common. So it's easy. You don't have to spend a ton of money on producing some videos. Just make it different from everybody else. And again, like, show us yourself. I see one photo and, he's saying like, I'm telling my story through music, more music coming soon. But like, actually tell us about yourself. Show us how, your process. I see a photo from the studio, like I would love to see more of these and mix them with those animated videos, but make them stand out.
Yeah. You heard it, Danny. Yeah, because I know him.
Yeah. So yeah, feel free to reach out and I can give you more direction. The next one is Gabriella. Gabriella Rose. She's a young singer-songwriter. I think she's got a lot of great content. And my favorite content on her page is really just photos and videos of her performing, no effects. I see that Gabriella is really using some crazy effects on her photos, and I would avoid that, the purple and pink photos, unless it's your creative decision and you decided that, okay, I'm going to stick to this theme, and you stick to it. Otherwise, you post some photos, in normal colors, and sometimes you use crazy filters. It just looks all over the place. And then I see a lot of content that came from Instagram stories with the type on it. But if I scroll through her page, I would just click on a normal video, like IGTV video of her with a guitar, so I can see her. I can see her face without some crazy, that filter that changes your face, and I can hear her voice, and I see a real person. It's much easier to connect with a real person.
Yeah, totally.
And then the last one we have Bruno Duprat. I really like his page. I think Bruno is very talented. He's an artist and a composer. He plays instruments. But if I look at top 9 posts, let's say I just discovered Bruno's page and I look at the top 9 posts, I don't really see him. I see some screenshots of his Spotify. I see SpongeBob. I see some animated photo. Really keep in mind that like one of these 9 or even 6, or it would be ideal if it's like your top 3. One of them would be a piece of a really high quality content showing you. So then I see, if I scroll down, I see that Bruno's got some really cool videos of him performing, playing guitar and singing, or playing piano and singing, and some cool photos. But I would archive a lot of stuff on Bruno's page, just to make it look clean and neat before. I don't know if Bruno is interested in investing some money in growing his Instagram, but if we are targeting people that don't know him, then I would suggest cleaning it up, archiving. Don't delete. You might want to bring it back, in a year from now. Archive it, see how it looks. Make sure your best content is on top. It's easily accessible for people that just discovered you. But overall, the content is great. I can see that. Oh, it's a really talented musician. And that's all.
Woo! That's great. That's great, actually, that we spend this time to give some value for the artists, because I don't think that they can hire like a specialist to make the job done for them. They just like getting some information there and there, like in the internet, and that you had time to give them like a special thing that help them to grow. It's very cool.
Yeah. No, I'm happy to help, and I feel like artists should really focus on what they do best. They should focus on their music. Social media should be around their music. But yeah, it's really good to know what you're doing and not just throwing it out there. So I hope everybody can do a little bit of research on their own, and learn about Facebook ads, learn about Instagram, read about some newest trends, newest tools. try new tools, just don't be mainstream. Try something new. A lot of people are breaking artists through new tools, new apps, so experiment with it.
Yeah, that's very cool. So what, like, the last thing that you can wish for all the artists that are watching us at the YouTube or listening to that podcast in the audio version?
Well, I wish you all to really have, create music with the right intention. From my experience, I see a lot of artists making music because they are actually craving attention and not because they have, that calling. So check in with yourself. Is it really your passion? If it is, keep making music. Don't get discouraged. A lot of strange things are happening in the world right now, but just remember that try just to really enjoy it. And remember that you're doing it because you love it, because you enjoy it, not because you're expecting a reaction from other people. Keep doing it, do your research, do the work. Don't feel like, oh, like I created this piece of music, this song, this beat, and the universe will take care of me. The universe takes
Yeah,
care
it's never gonna.
yeah, it takes care of people that do the work. So you have to meet in the middle and really, do the work. Don't be lazy.
Yeah,
uh, yeah, so I think that's my main advice. Like, do the work, have a great product, connect with people, and be genuine. Don't take advantage. Be genuine with people. Support other artists, and they will support you.
Absolutely. Just you should have your circle of, like, of your friends, of your bros, that when you start to release music, that they will support you. When they release music, you will support them. That how it goes. Like, you always, like, supporting each other, and you grow together. You can't grow alone, because there's always a teamwork.
Yeah, community is very important, and it goes a long way.
Yeah, cool. So thank you very much, Yana. I always love to hear you, to see you, and yeah, and I'm waiting for you to come to Moscow, to visit Moscow. Yeah, finally. It's not only me going to LA to see you. So I wish everybody who watched us the best. Stay healthy and wealthy, and be the best as you can be. Like, grow every day, try to learn new things, and try to make the best music this year, the best music that will lead you to your Grammy, to your Billboard #1, to your, like, worldwide tours that will finally happen when this COVID ends. And just, like, be yourselves in the end. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, share, do it all. Thanks.